Alright guys, welcome back. I am continuing this series, second series that concerns itself with rigging these characters for our game, for the game that we're working on right now at Addo Games called Robots Love Ice Cream. And I'm just going to jump right in it. We are in Maya, and you're going to want to press the F2 key, which is going to bring up your animations menu set. You're going to want to go to the joint tool. I don't think I've changed ever these default settings, so you can go ahead and enter the joint tool. Actually, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to turn on the grid because I like to use grid snapping. Um, so we'll enter the joint tool. I'm going to hit 4 to enter wireframe so we can see the grid. And we're just going to plunk down using X to snap to grid. I'm going to plunk down a joint there. It's worth noting if you have joint sizes that are not the size you'd like, you're going to want to keep them kind of small because as you add children to this, you're going to see that this guy gets bigger. But if you do need to change them, you can hold down the space bar. You don't have to have anything selected. You can go to display, animations, and joint sizes right there, and you can shift this guy around. So anyway, I've actually left the tool, the joint tool, but we need to add children to this. So that brings up another thing that I can show you, which is how do you, normally if you enter the joint tool and you just click, you're not going to connect to anything. It's going to just start a new hierarchy that you can click around here. I'm going to undo this. So once we've left the tool, if we want to connect something else, we need to go into the joint tool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a vertex snap, but the vertex snap actually applies to the joint. So hold down the V key and you're going to click on this joint. And if you did it right, it should highlight it green. And then you can click on another place. I'm going to click on this turret here. I'm going to vertex snap to the center of this turret. So you'll see that we only have two joints here, and the first one, this guy, is connected to this other one. And let's go ahead and just take a look at this from the side. I'm not too concerned with the fact that these guys aren't aligned on the Z-axis here, as long as these two are aligned. So gonna jump back into the joint tool, snap to this bottom guy, and I don't have a vertex right in the middle to snap to down here, but to keep these, I could create one right on top of this one, but I think just to keep my sanity, I'm going to just snap one down here onto one of these edges. I'm going to go and switch to perspective too so you guys can see a little bit better here. Alright, so this guy is way off. I'm going to vertex snap just along the x-axis here to this, whoops, to this guy. Middle, I'm holding V and a middle mouse clicking on this guy. So now he should be laterally aligned, and then Z is our depth. And I'm going to snap that. So that constrains it. These two guys are perfectly aligned with one another. You want to keep an eye on these the axes handles in here. Sometimes these guys can get kind of screwed up like this one. This one is pointing downward. Let's see if we can fix that. I'm not really sure we can. Yep, we can. So I went into the modify freeze transformations and I had joint orientation there. You want to zero this out before we go to paint our weights. These guys should all be facing the same way. Maybe some people feel differently about that. I'm not sure, but we've had issues in the past with some of our models where we've pointed fingers at one another and tried to figure out who screwed it up, and it really just comes back to who rigged it, which is unfortunately always been me. So I've always been to blame in that regard. But anyway, we've got our three guys. At this point, we should go ahead and name these guys meaningful names. So I'm just going to go into the, this is the split panel for perspective and outliner. I'm going to just call this guy root I'm going to call this guy, just call this guy turret base, and then let's call this last guy turret tip. This is kind of the same naming convention I use for the weapons for the hero in our game, which is an ice cream truck. All right, let's see. I think this is about where I wanted to get in our second tutorial. I'm just going to keep these really short. The next one's going to be the longest one. It's going to be the meat and potatoes, and after that one we should be done. So stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.